Okay. Well, how? Okay. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation. For those of you who watch the things instead of just listening to them, which I don't know how many that is, you're gonna notice that it says day blah blah. Yeah, the thing didn't seem to save over computers, which is truly a shame. So I'm gonna have to restart the world. I apologize, but that hopefully won't happen again. So, but that's okay. We'll be fine. I'm gonna set this up and then we'll get started. We're back, baby. Alright. So, anyhow. So, what the topic today is gonna be, for those of you who are wondering, it is going to be fairly straightforward. Things I have a general distaste for. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but I have a distaste for a good amount of things. A lot of things that most people probably don't have a distaste for. I'm actually gonna... Sorry, one second, I gotta lower the volume, and that's probably too low. That'll be fine. Okay, but yeah, so just general things that I'm not a big fan of. I don't necessarily hate some of these things. But some of them I absolutely would say without a doubt that I do, in fact, hate. So now, let's go through a list. I have 25 listed here. If I think of any more, they will also be mentioned. But let's go through them. First off, I have vibrations. Now, vibrations are just... It's an odd one to start with, for sure. But, I mean, can you blame me? Imagine waiting for a phone call and being so worried about a phone call. Or imagine just not wanting a phone call and you don't want to hear the sound of a phone call. So you're alright, well, I need to know this is coming, so I'm going to put it on vibrate. And every single little vibration that your phone makes, you just feel fear in the back of your head, like, oh my god, what is it? Oh my god. You're not gonna know what the hell to think. So that's me. I never like getting phone calls, and I used to just have people that I really didn't want to get phone calls from. I used to just... Also with I have alarms that since I had my sound off, they just played vibrations, like very vigorous vibrations. So I just generally, sort of just conditioned myself into hating a vibration, so I'm always just panic strikes. I'm like, oh my god, I should be doing something. Something should be happening to me right now. So I somehow conditioned myself to just genuinely hate friggin' just vibrations in general. So, I am not the biggest fan of them, for obvious reasons. So next up, I have a couple of words that I generally just don't like. Starting with the word ointment. OINTMENT, ointment. I'm sure people have heard of this word before. You apply it on a lot of things, mostly your skin. Probably only your skin, actually. But there's plenty of different ointments for plenty of different reasons, and I think they're all stupid reasons. It's not even, again, it's not nothing to do with ointment. Ointment is, on its own, fine. It's just a word that I genuinely just despise. It's just not a fun word to pronounce. It's a weird word to pronounce, which some people might find fun. I find it just cringy. You know, like there's certain things. Like people have moist. People don't like the word moist. Moist is just the first syllable of ointment. Ointment. If I just pronounce the T, it'd be ointment. It's not necessarily the exact same thing, but it's pretty much that ending sound of it twice, which I don't really... It's not why I hate it, but it's why you guys should hate it. Why do I hate it? Oint. Oint. I don't like... That's just a... That's not... It's just a weird ointment. It's a whole thing. It just doesn't feel right to say. And another one is certificate. It is way too many syllables for what it is. And you wind up saying it a lot more than you'd ever think you'd need to. Which just just sucks. It's not, again, certificates on their own, fine. But I always wind up just mispronouncing it because I'm not good at speaking. That it just winds up being a point of contention for me. So that's that for those two words. I'm trying to certificate. That's 4 syllables. Unnecessary amount of syllables. Just ugh. And they all sort of sound the same. Certificate. Like I always wind up pronouncing one of those wrong, especially when I'm talking to people about certificates. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid word. So now we're gonna move into some food that I have listed here. And one of those things that I genuinely do not like, and no one will make me change my mind, is peanut butter. It's gross. The smell alone of peanut butter turns me away from it completely. Peanut butter smells absolutely vile. I don't know how other people think it smells good. I truly don't. Because it's just genuinely awful. I've never once enjoyed the smell of peanut butter. And one time at work, a coworker was like, "Ooh, these Reese's sticks are really good. You should try one." And I was like, "All right, fine. I mean, I'm not gonna say no." He knows I don't like peanut butter, but he's just like, it's like those things where it's like, "Oh, dude, you don't like this type of food? You gotta eat this or try going over here." You know, it's pointless, but you do it anyway because they're your friend or they. It's just no reason not to, But yeah, so I tried it, and I was like, what, this is fine, I guess. It's just the taste and the smell, which since smell is mostly taste, it's pretty much just the smell, just makes me want to just gag it up. It's just not a fun experience for me. Another sort of food that I feel like, in a nut family, again, surprisingly enough, is almonds. I don't think there's much else that I have to say for almonds. They're gross. I don't like them. And, to top it all off, absolutely horrible for anyone who wants to be alive at any time. What does that mean? Good question. I'm sure we've all just enjoyed living and like water. And so do almonds. And they require so much more freaking almond. They require water, not almond. They don't require almond. Okay, so all that cooks on the tree. Okay. But it's just so. They're just terrible for everybody. Except for themselves, I guess. But even then, they're taking water away from themselves, too. So they pretty much hate everything about themselves, too. So if they hate themselves, why shouldn't you? Think about that. Think about that. And then just forget about it. Because we're moving into something that another thing. Is everything beyond almonds, I was like, I mean, it's okay, but I don't like it. Almonds I hate. The next thing, it's another thing, I guess it is a place that I genuinely hate with a passion, and that's New Jersey. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and when you're in New York City, you grow passions for two things. The love of New York style pizza, and the hatred of New Jersey. I don't know if the feeling is mutual in New Jersey. Do I truly hate New Jersey? Yeah, I do. Because there's nothing good is over there. Right? There's just, the only good thing, in theory, is my aunt, who I'm really the only fan of in my family. And then, theme parks. They got a lot of theme parks in New Jersey, because they need to just catch tourists. Need to catch people off guard. Like, hey, come to New Jersey, please. Look at these fun little slides and roller coasters we have. Ooh, wow, yes, so exciting. Like, they have to just persuade people to even step foot in New Jersey. That's how bad it is. That's like just disgusting of a place it is. It's just disgraceful. Just a disgraceful friggin' city. Not even a city, a state. It's a state. Think about that. 1 in every 50 U.S. states sucks, and it's New Jersey. It's disgusting. It's vile. But I digress, because there's somewhere that I hate slightly less. Right? Slightly less. And that would be Staten Island. Because again, you know, you also grow to hate some places. You know, not everyone's a fan of the old NJ. And that should be everybody. But you know, at least a lot of people can agree, especially from where I'm from, that that Staten Island is just the worst borough. The only thing that Staten Island has going for it is the impractical jokers. But even then, half of them don't even live in Staten Island anymore. One of them, I think, lives in Long Island, which is just another just garbage place, in my opinion. The only thing I really truly hate about it is just the drive. It's such a long ways away from pretty much exactly where I live, which is like in the freaking furthest point west of Brooklyn you can ask for. We had an aunt who lived in Long Island. Not the same aunt who lives in New Jersey now. But yeah, they lived in Long Island, and whenever they'd be like, "Oh hey, we're gonna come visit you," we're like, "Oh great, we'll get ready." And then we get ready, and then like 2-3 hours later, they'd actually show up, and they'll be like, "All right, hey." This is the first few times we were just like, "Oh my god, this is the worst." But we did grow to understand, because you know, some people just have to live in Long Island, which is a shame. But some people have to live in Staten Island, which is even more of a shame. But then some people have to live in New Jersey, which just makes me want to cry for them, because they're not gonna cry about it. They're too proud, which is truly just the saddest thing. Like, I genuinely feel bad for people who live in New Jersey. And the thing that really sucks is that I shouldn't have opened that coconut. My sister is planning to go live in New Jersey for reasons that it's close to us, because we're in Pennsylvania right now. And then also, just the idea that their spouse is in the army, so that's the closest army base in New Jersey. So that's all I'm gonna give, because it's their life. I'm not gonna try to freaking feed you every bit of information. But just that's the basics of why they're going to New Jersey, and I can understand it. I don't necessarily like it, but it's their life, so. You know, I don't think there's really anything for me to say about it. But yeah, I do. Maybe then I'll grow to appreciate New Jersey a little bit more. But I will probably never visit them in New Jersey. They'll have to come here. Also, plus because they're the ones with the car. None of us really drive in our family. So, why? I don't know. I think it's just, for me anyway, it was more just because why would I want to drive? I lived in Brooklyn until I was 18, you know? Like, there's no push to want to drive. You can just get a train and go anywhere much faster than you could be just getting stuck in traffic all day. You know, it's just not worth the time to learn to drive in Brooklyn. And then you have to keep a car in just a city, which is just a disaster. The amount of times that my family's cars, like my aunts and everyone's cars, just got freaking just messed with. Not like destroyed, but messed with. Too many. So I wouldn't even want one of them. But it's just so genuinely just blech. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I was up to Staten Island. Next up is another food. It is Chef Boyardee, but not all Chef Boyardee. I love Chef Boyardee. Everything about Chef Boyardee, for like the most part, is delicious. It's amazing. I love it. Beefaroni, can't beat it. Mini ravioli is like on par, but doesn't get beaten by beefaroni. Well, it does get beat by beefaroni. The beefaroni is the best way to eat frickin' Chef Boyardee. But the one that I truly don't understand is the spaghetti and meatballs. In what world could someone screw spaghetti and meatballs so badly? Like, it's truly a crime how they messed that up so bad. Like, it's just, you're literally making what? What are you making? Making spaghetti, and you're making some balls of meat. The balls of meat, they're okay. They're fine. Whatever. But the frickin' spaghetti in spaghetti and meatballs from Chef Boyardee, I don't know what they do to it. They ruin it. They just destroyed it. Like, it's confusing to me how they genuinely screwed up spaghetti and meatballs so bad. It tastes metallic-y. It tastes like just dud meat. It's disgusting. Like, everything about it makes me want to not have it anymore. I need so much more rope. Okay. But, yeah, so, I remember one of the first meals I had from Chef Boyardee was spaghetti and meatballs, and I almost just swore off Chef Boyardee because it was that disgusting. But I digress. Next up, we have another food, and this one, I don't know if it'll piss people off, but it definitely pisses me off just thinking about it. Turkey. Turkey in any form is the most disgusting meat, the driest meat, the nastiest meat you could ever put in your mouth. So I don't know why people eat it. Ever. I don't understand the want to be eating just a piece of garbage. I mean, obviously to each their own, but I mean, why eat turkey? You could eat other things. If you're like starving and it's the only option, sure. You know, I can understand that. But if you even are moderately well off in terms of just having food in the fridge, why would you eat turkey? That's just your disappointment to everyone around you. And I'm sure there's people out there who feel exactly the same. Because if there isn't, they're lying. Because there's no way that people just are sitting there like, oh yeah, turkey's good. You're liars. You have to be. There's no other way around it. Another thing, and this might be a little bit of a tangent. Cheap voice changing toy modulator things. And I'm not talking about like those freaking things that like streamers have or whatever. I'm talking about those toys that have the little trigger that you'd push and then you would start, and your voice would completely change. I loved those as a kid. But after getting just 2, I realized the problem with them. They all sound exactly the same. Like, you just couldn't make it sound good. It was impossible to make one of those sound like it like something. You just couldn't. They all sounded just awful. Do I have enough to? But even if, right? Even if, just by some chance, that they made them sound different, there would only be one of the voices, and the rest of them would be the same, like blah, 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 blah. And to demonstrate this sort of phenomena, I have one. I bought one for $5 at Five Below. And I don't know how obnoxious this is gonna sound, so you might just wanna either, I don't know. You're gonna hear it. Alright, that's all you need to know. Okay. But yeah, so here we go. I'm gonna turn it on, and this is something I've never heard in a voice modulator. No, I guess a voice changer. I shouldn't call it a modulator. The batteries are loose. Hold on. There we go. Nice and tight in there. I'm gonna turn it on, okay? It plays a super loud, obnoxious sound before you modulate your voice. So already, They have screwed anyone who is just trying to surprise their friend by just making their voice sound weird. I need to be level 2. Okay. There we go. But it's just like, why? You know? It genuinely frustrates me that this is a thing. Okay, but then we have the voices. So this one has 7 voices, and albeit, this is probably one of the better ones I've ever gotten. Because it has 7 voices. There's child, there's man, there's robot, there's rock and roll, there's echo, woman, and fuzzy. And the echo, which is the one I'll play first, also it dings every time you choose one, which is just an awful idea. I'm going to take off my headset and put it on the table, so that way you can only hear, at least hopefully only hear the voice thing. So let me do that. There we go. So I can't hear you anymore. Well, I can hear you anyway. So here's echo. I'm echoing. Woohoo! Yeah! Oh! Right, not bad. Like it's a very close together echo, but it's alright. Then there's woman, which this is probably my favorite one of the things, so we'll save woman for last. There's fuzzy. This is me. I'm fuzzy. And that is the sound of most voice modulators. That is the thing you get from most. Sometimes it'll be like, but like much higher pitched. But this is pretty much what you'd get from every voice modulator. They give you 6 voices, and half of them will just be like this, and it'll be awful. We only have child. Which is it's like, it's just a watered down version of the woman, which I'll play now. I'm a woman. Yeah. I have vagina. So honestly, the woman one isn't too bad. If it didn't have that super robotic voice into it, I'd be so into it. But it's just, it does. So, you know, can't win them all. Then there's man, which sounds like this. Hey everybody, I'm a man. I eat beef steak for dinner only on Tuesdays. So it's okay. It's not bad. It's different. Again, I like the different. Then there's robot, which sounds like this. This is it. This is the one I'm talking about. It's pretty much just fuzzy. Here's fuzzy again. This is fuzzy. This is robot. They just sound. This is just a higher pitched version of fuzzy, which also in turn makes it super. Just friggin'. What's the word? Frequency. Like the frequency. This high. That is happening a lot. And then we have rock and roll, which is just stupid. Rock and roll, baby. I'm trying to make a sentence, but you really can't hear me talking. It just sounds like noise. I'm turning it off. It doesn't make a sound when you turn it off. Thank God. So that was a little taste of that modulator that I got, and I'm not gonna lie, I like it. I think it is fairly good. I truly do. Because the robot and fuzzy, they're distinct, but they're distinct enough. They're not too distinct, you know? But everything else, rock and roll is kind of just shit. But it's funny how shitty it is. But then all the other ones, Echo, Woman, and Child is too. But Man, Woman, Echo's The Man and Woman ones really sell this one for me. Because they genuinely sound different. And they're pretty good. Like the Man one, I wish it was a little bit louder, because when it goes deep, it just barely it doesn't make as much sound as everything else. But yeah, that is the best case scenario that you're gonna get with one of those. Otherwise, you're gonna get things that says robot, you're gonna see one that says alien, you're gonna get one that says freaking fuzzy, and then they're all just gonna be the exact same thing with slightly different pitch changes. And it's just why? Like, I get it, you want money, but at least work for your money, you know? I mean, my goodness. So now we move into another just item, which is scented candles. I despise scented candles. I just hate anything. You'll notice this through some of the other things I have here. Anything that has a really strong smell to it, even if it's good, I don't necessarily like it. Just because I have a very sensitive gag reflex, and every time I smell something that's too pungent for my taste, I will start gagging. That is how bad it is. There's so many smells out there, good and bad, that just make me want to hurl. A lot of scented candles do that. Like vanilla. If it's too strong of a vanilla scented candle, I want to gag. And it's just, I have a Twinkie scented candle that I got for Easter. It was like $2, and I was like, hey, well, why not? And it's not bad. It's very light. Like it's not much smell, which for most people means it's a shitty candle. But for me, it means it's the best candle I could have gotten because it's a nice smell that isn't too pungent that I can actually enjoy. But most of the other time, it's just a disaster trying to eat these damn things. Not eat these damn things, smell these damn things. There, I have a hammer now. But yeah, so just generally speaking, it's everything about scented candles. I feel like also they're way too expensive. Like scented candles, like a lot of them go for like $30, and it's like it's just a big it's a tall candle for $30. Like why? Tubby is now here to support me in my rage against candles. They shouldn't be as expensive as they are. There's nothing saying, hey, what if we take these candles, make them, what if they just made $100? What if we made every, like, tall candle $100? I'm telling you, people would still buy them, and people wouldn't even be disappointed. Because they'd be like, wow, they must have really upgraded the smells on this one. Like, no. They're just ripping you off, and it's just stupid. Like, just make food or something. Just get vanilla and smell that. It's just, I have a genuine distaste for scented candles of most types. Then we move into another thing I hate the smell of especially. I have never drinking this drink because the smell alone has kept me as far away from it as possible. And that is coffee. Coffee. The smell of coffee, fresh coffee, has made me gag in my childhood more than anything. It is revolting. It's disgusting. There is nothing... I'm just gonna lower the volume because of the weather. Sorry. But... yeah, I mean, nature is pissed about coffee, and I am too, because people swear by this stuff, and they love the smell too. So many people love the smell of coffee. How? In what universe? Or what are you smelling? Are our senses of smell that different? Because all I smell is pungent, just goop, and it smells gross. I don't know how to describe it other than pungent, caffeinated goop. It's disgusting. It's revolting. Nothing about it is good. And I'm here to tell you that firsthand. It's just a disaster. Coffee is not something meant to be drank. It is meant to be looked at as if it is disgusting. Which is exactly what it is. It's disgusting. I don't even have enough rocks to make this hammer. Alright, but yeah, coffee, not good. And my family loves it, so I'm always smelling fresh coffee, which has maybe got a little bit more used to it. I'm not as keen to just vomit as I am. I used to be, as I meant to say. Which is good, you know. I'm tanking it. I'm a big boy, strong boy. Another thing I hate, and sort of in terms of the coffee, is a flavored Lays. Certain flavored Lays is like those competitions where they'd make flavors. Some of them would be awesome. One of them, though, and this is the main point of contingency, Uh, Cappuccino Lays. There was a time where my aunt from Long Island came over to our apartment and brought one of those just terrible things. And they were like, "This is disgusting. Holy shit. I can't believe they actually went along with this," because that was one of the ones that made it through the finals or whatever, or however they decided which ones they were going to actually make. That was one of them, and it was actually disgusting. I had one chip because I knew I wasn't going to like it, so I didn't even go to try one. But it was given to me by my older brother, and he's like, "Just give it a whirl. It's awful, but give it a whirl, just so you can see how awful it is." And I was like, "Alright, fine." I took a bite, and I ran to the bathroom and threw it up. It was that bad. Nothing will ever save those frickin' Lays from my mind. And I don't think anyone else would really appreciate them either. They were gross. Nothing about those damn chips were quality. It was all just disgusting. What the hell just happened? But yeah, nothing good to say about Cappuccino Lays. Nothing good at all. Can I spin the raft? There we go. Oh my god. Do this later. But yeah. Next up, I have how most computers and monitors don't come with speakers built into them. For people who don't have headphones, and I didn't have them as a kid, you're pretty much just luck. You're out of luck. If you had a monitor had no speakers in it, or a computer that had no speakers in it, whatever the case may be, you'd be screwed. And yeah, we had speakers, like plug-in speakers, like as a kid. They blew out of nowhere, and we didn't have any replacements. So for years, we just didn't have speakers. And which was fine, because one of the games we played the most as a kid was Pop Tropica. And Pop Tropica is notorious for its next to nothing that it sounds like. There was one time, I think it was in like the Astroland Park or whatever it was, Astro Zone, or it was like a medieval but like time travel-y space thing. It was a very bizarre one. I had fun with it. It took me a while to complete it, but I eventually did. And at one point you go to a castle and you're looking through a telescope, and then one of the freaking characters talks to you while you're on a telescope, so you just hear "hello there" or "hi" or what, I don't remember what they said exactly, but it was a greeting. And I had my ear to the speaker. Oh no, sorry. I was playing it, and my sister, who we were both super freaking into Pop Tropica, she had her ear to the freaking speaker. So she was just no one was expecting that. She genuinely freaked out and got scared. Like it was just terrifying to see. To hear. Sorry, not to see. Just hearing that was just so genuinely terrifying. But yeah, I mean, like, we wouldn't have been able to experience that if we didn't have our speakers. And luckily, they worked. There was a lot of times where they just didn't work. But that was before they shit it out on us. So thank you, speakers, for living on. They must have gotten scared by that too, and just decided it wasn't worth living. What is happening right now? But yeah, so then the next thing is how my monitor doesn't have any speakers on it, despite it literally saying it did when I bought it. I don't remember what model I have. Alright, I'm not about to look either. I don't really care that much. But one of the things that it said that it was gonna have was, oh, for goodness, one of the things that it said it would have was the frickin' the speakers. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank today for some reason. But it was just like, really? And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I can like freaking watch shows on there. And lo and behold, it came, and it didn't, just didn't. And I was like, you serious? Like, that was the biggest selling point to me for this thing, was that it would talk to me. I guess not talk to me, but you know what I mean. I was just so sad to discover that it wasn't gonna work. So yeah, it was pretty broken at that point. And at which point I went to Five Below and bought speakers, which are decent. They're decent enough. They work, so I can't really complain there. I hate cheap technology when it doesn't work, because you buy it thinking, oh, it's a steal, and then it turns out that they did indeed just steal your money. So it's always fun. It's always a gamble though, because you never know which one's actually going to be the working one. Because there's always one that works. There's always one of the things that actually works. Next up is one that I recently discovered, and I hate with a passion. And that is they updated the Ritz Bits design for the packaging. And let me tell you, that is the worst thing they could have ever done. Because before, how it worked was it was red box, and they had the sort of yellowy accents to it. But the cheese ones always had that blue stripe that said cheese in it. And the peanut butter ones always had that, I think it was a purple stripe that said peanut butter. Now, I've seen the little baggies of it, and the go bags used to have the exact same style. So I'm assuming the boxes are like this too, which is just a sin. But the bags literally had some red, and they were both purple. They were both purple. And the only real distinct difference was the text it said, and that one was cheese and one was peanut butter. They made them both look exactly the same, except for a little bit of color on the names. That was it. That was it. I know. I'm pissed too, Tubby. I don't know. It's absurd, buddy. It's absurd. But yeah, it was just. I felt like I was just being spat on the face in Where too. It was a disgrace, because for the longest time I thought they just got rid of them. They got rid of cheese ones because they were all purple. Until like way later when I discovered, oh, this is in fact not peanut butter. It is shit cheese. It is just cheese that looks like peanut butter. To which I say, why, Tubby? Why is it like that? I don't understand. I don't understand, buddy. It's stupid. Like, just make it distinct. What stopped you? What made you stop and smell these shit-colored roses that said, hey, let's make this food indistinguishable to this other food that we make, too. Genius! No one will be upset at that. But whatever, you know? Whatever, I guess. At the end of the day, whatever. But moving into another product that was changed drastically was, get this, the Pringles Man. Everyone knows the Pringles Man got updated, because everyone's at least seen Pringles. And he used to be this jolly old man. He had character to him. But now he's just some frickin' circles, some ovals, and a mustache. It's a disgrace. His bow tie's gone. Everything about him's gone. He's going to become a Mandela effect. Because then the Pringles is just going to pretend they never even made the other logo. And everyone's going to be like, no, but it happened. And then all the new generation is going to be like, you guys are idiots. Do you even eat Pringles? He always looked like this. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be a sad day to see it go. Hi, Tubs. It's already been a sad day because it's already gone. But just sometimes you still find the cans that have it, and then you just know that those are really old, spoiled cans. Maybe not spoiled, but just not good cans, to say the least. But yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. But yeah, just Pringles, fix your shit. Alright? We love you for your face, not for your contents. Genuinely upsets me. The shit that we have to go through. But next up is a bunch of water. Fun fact, I only drink water. Is it because I'm healthy? Absolutely not. Is it because the taste and just texture and consistency of most other drinks is just too much for my shitty mouth to say, hey, I can deal with that? And to that I say absolutely. But water is nice and so just inoffensive to anyone's taste buds. And they can say, hey, at least there's water to drink at this party. But nay, my friend, oh my god. But nay, because there's some waters out there in the world that are just so unbelievably vile that no one should be allowed to drink them. And I have 3 written down. There's plenty more, and they're all I think they're pretty regional water, so you might not have one of these waters, but 2 of them are pretty name brand, so you're gonna see them a lot. Actually at McDonald's, and that's Dasani. Dasani is the worst water in existence. It tastes like just salt. It's made to make you thirsty, essentially, is how that shit works. They make it so, oh my god, they make it so you're thirsty when you're drinking, because you're like, oh, I need some more Dasani, which in itself is just disgusting. It's a disgusting business practice, especially for something that's water. You know, something people need to survive. So yeah, just not nice. Not in the slightest. Not a fan. And then, of course, there's Aquafina, which is definitely up there in the shit tier of life that is water. It's pretty much the exact same concept, the exact same method as all that stuff that I mentioned before. So yeah, not good. Not a fan. Couldn't persuade me to drink Aquafina if you tried. The only way you could is if you said, hey, I have Dasani, if you want Dasani. Or, because I think it's probably 3rd worst, right? Because even though it's bad, I have had memories of drinking it, so clearly I've liked it at some point, at least a little bit. But Ice Canyon Water is a brand that I don't know if it's very PA based or not, but it's in PA, and it is truly disgusting. It is, I don't know if it's the squeeze bottle, because I like drinking from squeeze bottles, but I don't know if it's the squeeze bottle that does it, that makes it so freaking vile and just plasticky, but I hate it. I truly do. Which is something weird to say, because I don't hate many waters. I hate Dasani and Aquafina, so the fact that just some other random one was bad enough for me to say, oh my god, please get this out of my mouth, that says a lot to me. Anyway. Next up, claw machines. They're made for you to fail. Obviously. Everyone knows that, though. So I'm not going to go too into claw machines. Just know that if you like claw machines, you just got lucky. However, I will say, there is one claw machine one specific claw machine in my life that I actually do like. I like it a lot, and that is one that I had in my old Brooklyn laundromat that I went to. In that laundromat had some arcade machines and everything. They had a lot of just fun stuff for the kids that were dragged along, which is nice. I think that is really cool. I think it's a really cool freaking thing for them to do. And one of those things was a Pac-Man arcade machine, which eventually got replaced by a Miss Pac-Man arcade machine because someone broke the freaking other one. Both fun. And then they had a claw machine. They also had a racing game there, like a proper like motorcycle thing built up. So it's literally a racing game, which was like I was like, what? Are you serious? And I was. And one of the other things, which is my favorite thing, was a claw machine. And that claw machine, they did not tamper with. And if they did a very bad job at it. Because that thing was full power almost every time you touched it. You'd frickin' whip that thing out and say, you know, this is going to be a good day. And you know why? Because I gotta play this claw machine. And I'm going to have so much fun doing it. Because that's the thing. That claw machine in particular never cheated you. If you had the aim to play the game, you were living. You were winning that game. There was no other way around it. You were just winning. So they saw that you had a good... And they always filled it with these rubber balls. These, like, spiky rubber balls. And I remember one day we were at the laundromat with my whole family. And I got, like, 8 of them. And we just went home and just started socking each other in the face with them. It was so much fun. Let's try to get a fish. But, like, seriously, though. Some of the best stuff to do was just to mess around with that. What are fish? But yeah, so that claw machine in particular gets a pass. No other one. Sardine. And sometimes I'd fill it with like some stuffed things, but it was never as fun as the balls, which is weird. You don't expect that. But it was nice. It's a very nice thing. Then we have how fluffy things will go into the wash, and then when you try to take it out, it doesn't look at all the same. It's a completely different thing coming out. Like stuffed animals, like fluffy stuffed animal. I eat the sardine. What do I do with it? Ugh. Okay, but yeah, they don't come out right. I have a dog that's been in my family for like at least like 20 years. It's like a dog carpet thing that used to be super fluffy, and I never got to see it fluffy because it was fluffy when they were a kid. When my older brother was a kid, he gave it to me, and they went in the wash once, and it became this curly, crusty looking dude that is still really adorable, and he's really cute. His name's Odie. I still have him near me because he's just so old and so just adorable. You can't help but just fall in love with it. But yeah, I just hate that if you put anything moderately fluffy into a washing machine, you ruin it. It's destroyed. Like, it's not necessarily like broken, but the magic may as well be broken. Okay. And then another food. Oh my god, why are the winds so loud in this game? I lowered the volume drastically for the point of the episode. So you guys probably are fine, but I'm having a horrible time right now. But then we have another food, and that's caramel. It's pretty much the same aspect as peanut butter. People tell me I should try it, and I'm like, it's just not great. But peanut butter is way worse than caramel, because caramel doesn't have an offensive smell. Peanut butter smells like you're sniffing a really diseased asshole. Then we have cheap handheld fans. You know, like the type you get at like CVS or somewhere. Just those little like M&M's fans or like the bladeless fans. You take them to your school's field day. They worked for like 2 minutes, and they worked if you were like at least at most 2 inches away. Anywhere further than that, you were just out of luck. Never fun. You'd always have to get so many of them because they'd crap out on you. Or someone would stick their damn fingers into the fan and break one of the blades off, or just something stupid. I mean, as a kid, granted, I would always like stick my tongue into them because I'd be like, "Is this gonna hurt? I don't know." Because I had to put my fingers in there first, and I'd be like, "Oh, this doesn't actually hurt that bad." And I'm like, "Oh, but my tongue," you know. Yeah, cheap handheld fans. They're cheaply made, so you have to keep buying them, and they're like $3 to $5. So you're like, "Hey, might as well." It's just awful. And I have 2 more things written down, and then we can call it from there, because the gods are pissed at me again, once again. So we have the my in a box projector. There is a brand of things called the Original Fun Workshop or something like that has a lot of products, and a lot of them are great. So many. I can't name any off the top of my head because I just... Oh, where's one? I have you know those movie cinema signs that's like shows the movies? They had one of those with a really nice working light and a bunch of different letters that I have next to my shuckle that my sister sewed for me, crocheted for me. And on it says "Shuckle on these nuts" and a crying emoji because it had a little bit of some emojis in there too. And I have that pointing right towards my throne on my door. So when anyone comes into my room, that's the first message they get, is "Shuckle on these nuts." But then they have some really big downers. Like the in-a-box projector. How it works is, you have to... there's a big piece of glass that you stick it on the little hole for the projector. And then on the back is a little foldy thing, so you have to put a little gel pad that they do have for you, and it's very bizarre. It's the texture of that thing, but you slap it onto the back, and then you put your phone on that so it doesn't fall over. And then how it's supposed to work is you put your phone on full brightness, and you have to get an app that you have to pay for like a subscription thing, as if you're Android. If you're an Android user, don't get this. Don't ever buy this, because you need to buy an app that lets you like freeze your phone's rotation. Because otherwise your phone's just going to flip over and flip around. And how this works is when you project it, it projects a reflected image, like a mirrored image over the x-axis, over the x-axis. So it looks upside down. It looks upside down. Which is just awful for a projector. So obviously they're like, okay, get this app, and then it'll be fine. But I didn't want to do that. So I said, I'll just try it without it, and then just deal with the upside down. Maybe I'll just watch it with my head upside down or something. Whatever. Or I'll flip the entire box upside down. But that's not how light works, so that didn't work, I don't think. But I have no idea. Oh no, because I flipped the box, which then flipped the phone's rotation, so then that didn't work. That explains why it didn't work. I'm very stupid. But the thing maybe projected like 2 inches of light. It says it works up to 1 meter away. I put on a show with very bright colors. I could barely understand what was going on in that show from like 6 inches away, let alone like an inch. You barely see it. It's just like a mosaic of what the show is supposed to be. And that really disappointed me, because I got one for someone else too that I just didn't give them, because I was like, this is shit. I'm not gonna give them this shit product. But yeah, the biggest downer for that in-a-box projectors, that Original Fun Workshop series of items from that I've gotten ever. And the last thing, the true creme de la creme of things that I hate, and it is the most recent discovery. It is, and the weather's clearing up, so you get to hear this again, is that I thought that I had a good Toad voice. Like, you know, fuck, my throat really hurts. I don't know why, but it's like just trying to do it now isn't going to be good either. But, hello! Hello! How you doing? Like, if I can do the hello, okay. After that, it gets kind of, it just sounds like that. Like, sometimes I can make it sound okay, but it's just impossible. It's impossible! Oh! Fuck you! Watch the notes! Like, there's, I don't know. It's puppet. It's just, I can't do it good. I've tried. It don't work. It just doesn't. Not for me, anyway. So yeah. That's the last thing I have on the list. Because it's the saddest thing for me. Like, I hate it because it's sad. Everything else I kind of just hate because it has some aspect to hate. Those last two things I hate because it is sad, especially the Toad thing. The fact that I can't do a good Toad voice. I thought it was really good. And then I listened to myself, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst. I sound like a frothing at the mouth, just exploding. It sounds like my throat is exploding. It's not good. And discovering that made me want to cry. But that is all that I have written down. If you all have some weird things that you hate, let me know. Because everybody has things that they hate. Some of them are weirder than others, as you've seen with me. There's some things, man, they grind my gears. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in to my Stranded Deep in Conversation playthrough. Next week, I don't know what the topic is. I have a bunch of different topics. I don't know. I don't know which one I'm gonna do. I thought this one was just stupid fun, so I was like, hey, I'll do this one. But yeah, so I'll see you all next week. You have a great rest of your day. Bye bye now.